Right. Hello and good morning. If you've just joined, just in time for those current affairs. The raid on the upmarket property was conducted by a multidisciplinary team led by Interpol, South Africa, the SA Police Services, Organized Crime Unit, and Crime Intelligence, and the Special Task Force. Israel's most wanted gang leader, 7 others arrested, 12 firearms seized. Police confirmed the wanted fugitive has been arrested together with 7 others at the house. Police spokesperson Colonel Athlenda Mate said the Israeli had been on Interpol's red notice since 2015. He's a wanted suspect in Israel for conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder, she said. According to Israeli authorities, the suspect is part of a notorious gang dealing in drug trafficking, extortion, and other criminal activities. In 2003 and 2004, the wanted suspect allegedly placed bombs under a vehicle of a man in Israel in 2 separate incidents. As a result, the first explosive, 5 people sustained serious injuries, but all miraculously survived. Mate said in a second incident, the suspect placed a bomb on top of the same victim's vehicle. In the incident, 3 people sustained serious injuries. President Cyril Ramaphosa's backers in the ANC refused to even consider the possibility of him not being president as the ANC draws closer to its elective conference at Nasrec next month. While delayed, the clock is ticking for Ramaphosa as the deadline for the independent panel looking into grounds for his impeachment has been pushed back from today to November 17th to November 30th. The panel will hand over its report to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. 3 weeks after former President Thabo Mbeki warned the ANC had to consider what the party would do in the event Ramaphosa was impeached. ANC Veterans League President Snooki Zikalala said the subject was taboo within the ANC circles. That subject is taboo, he said. No one touches it. Even if it happens, the normal processes of the ANC will happen. It's taboo until it does happen. That's all I'm saying. A 15-year jail term? SA's proposed new smoking laws are hardcore. Bad times lie in wait for millions of our tobacco enthusiasts, we're afraid. South Africa is clamping down on harmful practice with a new set of smoking laws, and boy, are they laying down some strict ground rules here. A number of proposals have been featured on the Tobacco Product and Control Bill. The legislation looks to ban smoking in most public spaces and better regulate tobacco traders going forward. Dr. Chimilin Mueng Mahlangu is determined to ensure that the new smoking laws do more to protect children. In terms of vendors, she wants to eliminate displays of cigarettes that are nearby to the shelves with sweets, toys, or other kid-friendly items. This is where the hardcore stance really comes into full view. According to the new smoking laws, harsher punishments will be laid down for any business that is caught selling cigarettes to minors. In fact, traders caught doing this could be slapped with a 15-year jail sentence. Just in, Eskom finds a person behind malicious internal sabotage. Aha. Eskom has discovered the person behind an internal intention to sabotage the mills operating at Camden Power Station. The man who works as a contractor was arrested on Tuesday, said the power utility. A worker employed by a maintenance company working at the Camden Power Station was positively tied to an incident of sabotage. The accused person employed by the maintenance company working at the power station intentionally removed the bearing oil drain plug from the bearing. This caused the oil burners to trip repeatedly, Eskom spokesperson Skonati Manchanja said. The incident happened in the early evening of the 10th of November, but intensive internal investigations led to the culprit being identified and was subsequently questioned, said Manchanja. Eskom's general manager for security advocate Karen Pillay says that they have always suspected some sort of sabotage from maintenance contractors. Employees are also suspected to be behind these acts of sabotage. Ayini Eskom, kukubi kunje. In Cape Town, parliamentarians were left frustrated as Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan gave a limited explanation regarding the controversial SAA Airways Takaso deal. Gordhan and his bureaucratic charges were questioned by the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, SCOPA, on Tuesday about the transaction in which Takaso Consortium takes over 51% of the state airline's shares, and the turbulence regarding the transaction, which Gordhan said was still in the pipeline. The takeover group comprises Global Airways, which owns Lift Airlines, and the Harith Investment Company, while the government owns 49% of the airline. Harith is more powerful partner in the consortium. The airline will be sold for 51 Rand nominal fee in a deal with the condition with the consortium invests up to 3 billion Rand in 3 years. Although Gordhan assured MPs that there wouldn't be a deal if the consortium failed to cough up the 3 billion, they were not convinced by the discretion around the deal. The deal hit turbulence this week with the resignation of one of the partner's company directors, Gideon Novik, who cited frustration over the secrecy of the deal. Echoing a statement by the consortium on Novik, Gordhan said the resignation scotches fear of conflict of interest in that Novik, through the Lift airline, has pursued business relationships with SAA outside of the SAA-Takatso deal. Gordhan said it was curious that Novik resigned as a director and not as a partner in the consortium. Gordhan refused to share details about the deal, saying that it was at a sensitive stage. 27 now after 9 a.m. A childhood friend of Senzo Meyiwa's has told the Pretoria High Court that his relationship with the late Bafana Bafana's family has been strained. Tumelo Madlala was cross-examined in the Pretoria High Court. He is the state's third witness to take the stand in the trial against 5 men accused of murdering Meyiwa in what is believed to be a botched robbery. Meyiwa was shot at his girlfriend Kelly Khumalo's home in October 2014. While being cross-examined by defense lawyer advocate Zandile Mshololo, Madlala was asked to describe his relationship with the Meyiwa family. He said they got along well until Meyiwa was killed. The head of the household, that is the father, will come only to find that I will not present in the house. I was not present at the house, and find the person that I was staying with in the house, and then he will shout and shout. Mshololo then asked why Madlala thought the family was acting this way. I don't have answers as to why they are conducting themselves in that manner. They are the ones who know about that, he replied. Madlala returns to the witness stand today for further cross-examination. A former archbishop admitted Wednesday to inappropriate acts with young adult women several decades ago, with prosecutors later confirming they were investigating him for possible sex crimes. The confession by Jean-Pierre Gralet, who's 81 years old, deepens a gathering storm around the French Catholic Church, which has been sparked by fresh revelations of sexual abuse by senior clergy. Gralet said in a statement that he profoundly regretted his actions in the 1980s when he strayed and hurt someone before being named Archbishop of Strasbourg in eastern France in 2007. He gave no further details, but the Strasbourg prosecutor's office confirmed that an investigation had been underway since January of incidents of a sexual nature. The current Archbishop of the city, Luc Ravel, said that he had notified prosecutors after a woman approached him and outlined alleged abuse by Gralet. Last week, the Bishops' Conference of France announced that 11 former or serving French bishops have been accused of sexual violence, including a cardinal who confessed to assaulting a minor more than 3 decades ago. Any criminal behavior by Richard or Gralet is likely to be deemed too long ago to prosecute under French law. The church was rocked last year by a report that revealed that a vast scale of abuse of minors by priests, deacons, and lay members of the church. Allegations that police recruits allegedly paid to enter South African Police College are seen as serious, according to SAPS. A national investigation is set to be in motion to determine whether procedures were flouted during the hiring process. The 12-month Police Development Learning Training Program is designed to equip recruits with necessary skills before they are absorbed as constables into the SAPS. It is a prerequisite before recruits can be employed by the service. The SAPS has responded to reports that recruits had paid for admission to the SAPS colleges. The claims are supported by a leaked voice message from a police and prison civil rights union, POP crew, whistleblower who raised red flags. National Police spokesperson Athlenda Mate said SAPS views these allegations as serious and confirms that a nationwide investigation is currently underway. Anyone found guilty of any unlawful activity in this instance, be it SAPS recruitment officers or trainees, will be dealt with decisively, as SAPS has no room for corruption within the organization. Afrikaans is one of SA's official languages, and according to online stats resource World Data, spoken by over 8 million people around the world. Speaking about her home language in an interview with Smartless podcast, Charlize Theron said that she didn't speak English until she was around 19 years old and only focused on learning the language when she left home. That's why it was easy for me to drop the South African accent, because I was really learning English from scratch, she added. Referring to Afrikaans, she joked that there are about 44 people still speaking it and called it a dying language. It's not a very helpful language, she added. Her comments did not go down well with many on social media, with her name topping the local Twitter trends. Taking the podcast to the podcast's Instagram page, South African actor Tim Theron rubbished the suggestion that Afrikaans is a dying language. Love the podcast, guys. Just one small note after listening to the episode. As South Africans, we're extremely proud of Charlize and everything she has achieved, but we're also very proud of our diversity and amazing, beautiful official languages, of which Afrikaans is one. It's not a dying language, and it's not only spoken by 44 people, it's spoken by millions of people. There are new songs and poems written every day, movies made. It's a language with its roots in several languages and cultures, including Dutch, Malay, Indonesian, and our indigenous San languages, just for your information. While some agreed with Charlize's analysis, others have urged her to leave the language alone. Singer Zandi Khumalo Kumete, who was present when soccer star Senzo Meyiwa was shot dead, says she had a dream where she testified in court without the presence of the media. Meyiwa was shot on 26th of October 2014 at the home of his girlfriend, Kelly, Zandi's sister. Her name has also come up several times in the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, where the trial is sitting. It is not yet clear when Zandile will be in the witness box, as she previously said the police had contacted her regarding testifying in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. On Wednesday, the 16th of November, Zandi took to Instagram to share her dream. Zandi said the court granted her family's wish, and her biggest fear is that her dream always comes true. Defense lawyer for accused 124, Timothy Tobane, made explosive arguments about Zandi. The attorney told state witness Madlala that Zandi lived with Kelly and Senzo in an estate in Malberton. Tobane further said Meyiwa and Zandi ended up having sexual relations due to Kelly being away for a long time. Zandi was in a long relationship with Silo Chikotwala's son, Longwe. Some social media users believe that Longwe Twala shot the goalkeeper because he had a motive. Apart from that, one of the affidavits deposed by Madlala read in court that proceedings resumed. It was Longwe who shot Meyiwa. However, he, Madlala, never told the Meyiwa family because he did not see Longwe carrying the firearm. And ESCOM should recruit former employees, says the board chairperson. Embattled ESCOM should ask for help. It's the board chairperson, Paul Makwana, says the power utility needs to recruit the best minds familiar with how it operates. Makwana told the ENCA that human resources is the major area of focus in a bid to turn ESCOM around. He's part of the South African delegation attending the global climate talks in Egypt. Makwana says the immediate task is to stabilize the under-strained national electricity grid and save the economy from taking a huge knock due to ongoing blasts. The Democratic Alliance has called for Parliament to extend its program to deal with the Phala Phala report instead of rising on December 1 as planned, says the party parliamentary chief whip, Sifiwe Kwagube. During the National Programming Committee tomorrow, the Democratic Alliance will make the case the Parliament's program now needs to be extended to deal with this report. The panel is due to report to the Speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, on the 30th of November, while Parliament was meant to rise on the 1st of December. The DA said it would lobby other parties to support the motion that Parliament continue after December 1st. Action SA leader Herman Mashaba also rejected the extension. And Mashaba added that Ramaphosa being embroiled in the Phala Phala was testimony to how lawless South Africa has become when at the very top the rule of law is disobeyed. The city of Johannesburg is now blaming the African National Congress after a number of the metro's rented cars were repossessed by a car rental company, Avis, due to non-payment. The spokesperson for the MMC for Group Corporate and Shared Services, Mitchell McKinley, said this was non-specialized fleet that includes cars, bakkies, trucks, and different departments. McKinley said the contract between Avis and the city was deemed irregular by the National Treasury back in 2020 when the municipality was still under the ANC government. He said the motion was successfully voted down by the ANC caucus. However, ANC regional spokesperson Chris Vondo said the multi-party government in Johannesburg should not blame it for its failings. He added, "It was unfortunate what has happened. The city is bankrupt and is not able to be governed properly." Vondo said service delivery in Johannesburg will be hugely impacted. Often we've got an almighty row on our hands here. An esteemed professor at Stellenbosch University has caused a stir online after he suggested that white students at universities in South Africa were just like dogs. His remarks were made in relation to the recent urination scandal. Several campuses, including Stelli's, have received reports of white students weeing on their black counterparts. The incidents are isolated, but there's enough incandescence for people like Professor Janssen to draw parallels. Ahead of penning a column, he reveals to his Twitter followers what he'd be writing about this week. He argues that some white students are acting like dogs by marking their territory with urine to challenge black incursions in certain spaces. He's pulling no punches. He said, and I quote, "Just like dogs use urine to mark their territory and anxiety, white males at students at universities of Free State and now Stellenbosch use the same strategy to protest black incursion into their space." The co-author of a new book on the country's #1 citizen, Richard Calland, said he doesn't believe impeachment claims against the President Cyril Ramaphosa will impact his African National Congress presidential ambitions. Ramaphosa will be looking for a second term at the ANC's elective conference next month, but hanging over his head are allegations of a cover-up of a crime at his Palapala farm. Calland says there's not enough time for Parliament to take any significant steps on the matter. Opposition parties on Thursday will push for the Parliament to extend the term to deal with an independent panel reporting considering impeachment claims against Ramaphosa. He says you don't need 6 months to read in a report that there's evidence of corruption against someone and they should be investigated and probably charged to decide whether they should serve in your cabinet. And that is his weakness. He puts his party in front of his country. Calland said Ramaphosa has, from the start of his presidency, missed key points and key moments to rise above the party to turn around the corruption scourge. Finally, and further afield in our beautiful continent of Africa, a second contingent of Kenyan troops deployed under the banner of a regional bloc arrived in the war-ravaged east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The soldiers flew into Goma from Nairobi and are part of 900 Kenyan troops that will be sent to the Democratic Republic of Congo. They will be joined by troops from other member states of the East African Community to help the Congolese government battle rebels who now control key localities, forcing thousands of Congolese to flee their homes. The Congolese Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations hoped the presence of Kenyan soldiers will enable military gains.
This is KNR, radio according to you.